Welcome back to my channel, and for any of you who are new, welcome. Today we are going to be talking about why you might be struggling with meditation, how to fix that, and also how you can use meditation to gain clarity and to help you moving forward. So we're going to start with some of the struggles, and we could call them mistakes for want of a better word, but they're not really mistakes. So number one, I would say, this is actually, ironically, the biggest mistake, is thinking that there is actually a perfect way to meditate, that there is a correct way to meditate. So essentially, your biggest mistake is thinking that you are making a mistake. Remember that meditation isn't so much about outcome. There might be some outcomes that we might want to achieve through meditation, and we will talk about that a bit later on in the video, but the most important thing that you want to get from meditation is a feeling of relaxation and peace and a feeling of coming home to yourself. Despite the fact that there are very common positions that are associated with meditation, one of them is usually sitting cross-legged, that is not the only way to do it. That might be uncomfortable for you. It might not feel right for you. So the first thing you want to do is find a position that's actually comfortable and allow yourself to relax. The second biggest mistake is criticising yourself for thinking you've made a mistake, and this one is classic. What happens a lot of the time is we are self-critical. As human beings, we tend to be self-critical, and when we sit down to meditate, we often criticise ourselves for experiencing too many thoughts. So if we find ourselves thinking, we actually end up criticising ourselves for having that thought. The aim of meditation is not to meditate perfectly. This is not about perfection. This is about letting go. It's about letting go of as much as you can. And if you can't let go of all of your thoughts, then that is okay. One of the outcomes that we want is to get to the end of the meditation and to actually feel more relaxed than we did at the beginning. And if we had thoughts during that, that's okay. If you have any thoughts, just give yourself permission to let them go without actually criticizing yourself for having them in the first place. The third issue we might experience is struggling to relax. Have you ever had that experience, it's commonly talked about, where there's something that you know you're not supposed to do, something that you know that is inappropriate, and as soon as you know it, you want to do it? And this is something that I've definitely struggled with in meditation, is you sit down and you try to allow your body to relax, and the first thing you want to do is move, because you know you're not supposed to move. I have a very overactive mind, and I found that suddenly everything was itching, I was experiencing anxiety, I was wanting to move, I was finding it really hard to sit still. So just be kind to yourself when you're in this process, and if you're experiencing this, remember to give yourself permission to relax as opposed to trying to force yourself to relax. And lastly, I wanted to talk about how we can use meditation, because meditation is incredibly helpful for anyone with an overactive mind, or for anyone who is really trying to relax or gain some peace, or for anyone who's struggling with negative thoughts. But it's also incredible for clarity and reconnecting with your intuition. If you're wanting to use meditation to gain answers, I find a helpful way is to start off with maybe a question in your mind, or start off with a focus. And no, that doesn't mean thinking necessarily. It means maybe holding, might just be a picture or a vision of what it is that you want in your mind, a vision of your goal, or a vision of what it is that you might be struggling with, or you might want answers to. Letting go of thoughts, but holding that in your mind. Just allowing yourself to sit with it and connect to it. And try to make it positive. So try to focus more on the goal, what it is that you're wanting, as opposed to the struggle or the perceived problem, the obstacle that feels like it's in the way. And just try to sit with that vision or with the feeling of what it is that you're wanting without trying to force your thoughts. You might find yourself receiving guidance during the meditation, or even afterwards if you're feeling really aligned. And there are so many different ways that you might receive this. It might be a word in your mind, or a really strong feeling, or an idea, or a picture. And if you're like me and you experience a lot of thoughts, just check in with yourself to make sure that what you're receiving is something that feels really aligned. If you're looking to work deeply on any topic related to this video, I'm taking on clients one-to-one, and I'm working on other ways that people can work with me, so I'll just leave that in the video description.